Coming up on this edition of High School Sports Weekly presented by OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, it's a recap of Week 5 on the gridiron.
We'll also get a chance to meet Vestavia soccer athlete and pilot Riley Vicinanzo.
We'll also visit with Oak Mountain Volleyball coach Grace Burgess and two of her standouts, Madison and Landry Frisch.
And we'll hear from the guys at the National Scouting Report with their recruiting roundtable.
And that's all coming up on this edition of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
You're watching High School Sports Weekly. Go Warriors! Go Warriors!
Welcome back to High School Sports Weekly, presented by OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, along with Susan Carruthers. I'm Chris Stewart. Another week of high school football behind us, and every week really, for all of us, feels like a victory right now.
Amen to that. That's right. We're about halfway through the season, and we're happy that we're playing, aren't we?
We are indeed, and we'll get to the schedule in just a little bit on games coming up this week in our area as teams step out of region play by and large, but a chance to look back at what transpired in Region 3. And Susan, we'll start off with Hoover, which defeated Oak Mountain, an impressive win for the Bucks as they knocked off a previously unbeaten Oak Mountain squad 42-7.
That's right. In true Hoover form, they just continue to win.
They do indeed. Thompson, a tight one against Hewitt-Trussville, tight until late in the game, and finally the Warriors, the top-ranked team in the state, one of the top-ranked teams nationally, able to pull away to claim a 35-21 victory.
That's right, and on ESPNU, so I think that was pretty exciting for them. Connor Harrell, quarterback, threw 4 first-half touchdowns. Pretty impressive. Was
indeed, and a guy, again, who didn't even have an opportunity to play varsity other than some mop-up duty until this year.
Wow.
Gadsden City defeated Spain Park. That was big for the Titans to be able to bounce back. They needed a victory, and against a Jaguar squad that's struggling a little bit right now and falling 31-17.
That's right. A couple of names, though, worth mentioning there. C.J. Miller from Gadsden City with 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. With Spain Park, Jalen Ward, 128 receiving yards, and Bennett Meredith with 271 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And a big week for Vestavia. Finally, they got to play about 2 weeks ago, and then now they've gotten their first win. They beat Tuscaloosa County by a final score of 17-10. Buddy Anderson getting a victory in his final year as the head coach of the Rebels. So there we are in region play, and now you've got 2 teams left with perfect records so far in the region. Hoover and Thompson both at 3-0 thus far, but still a lot of football to be played and a lot of opportunities for teams to finish up in the top 4 in that region.
Yes. The Thompson men's basketball team is taking time to help those along the Alabama coast affected by Hurricane Sally. The Friday after Hurricane Sally hit, Coach Powell went to social media and asked people to donate gas, bottles of water, tarps, snacks, and more. Within a matter of hours, the team had a truck and a trailer filled and headed to Baldwin County. Before coming to Thompson, Powell was the head coach at Spanish Fort High School, so he has strong ties to the coast. After returning, the basketball team posted, "It was a very eye-opening trip to the Gulf Shores area."
Well, we all know the heartbreak our spring athletes felt when their seasons were cut short last year, but in normal coach form, coaches have their teams back at work, telling them, let's not look back, but look ahead. Among those teams, the Vestavia Hills Lady Rebels soccer team. By mid-March, the Lady Rebels had put together a tremendous start to the 2020 season. After winning the last 2 7A state championships and 3 of the last 4 overall, Vestavia Hills kept the momentum rolling, beginning this season with 14 consecutive wins. And there's been no hint of complacency within a group that has experienced so much success in recent years. Along with winning the last 2 state titles, Vestavia Hills went a perfect 23-0 last spring and was named the national champion by Max Preps. These ladies are ready now to get back to work.
We're going to be tenacious as ever, relentless, and we're going to vie for another state championship.
Soccer season officially gets underway February 4th. We're back with more in just a moment. OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com. Susan, we've had a lot of fun taking a look at what's going on in different sports, different schools, and this time it's volleyball, but on Highway 119.
That's right. Last week I got a chance to go over and meet with Oak Mountain volleyball coach Grace Burgess and 2 of her seniors, Madison Como and Landry Frisch.
Okay, Grace, I understand that you have previously been at Spain Park and Thompson, but this is your first head coaching job at a 7A school. What have been some of the challenges and opportunities of taking the reins of such a big program?
It's a really big program. So, the opportunity, I like to start with opportunity first. You're playing on the biggest stage. You're playing against the best teams. Of course, there are great teams in every division, but you get to go and play in arenas that look like colleges. You get to have access to a numerous amount of athletes. The opportunity is just unreal. Just with the competition level, the high level of play, I think that that's the biggest part. Challenges with how big of a program this is, I think it's time. My vision for the program was to be holistic, and so it's not about one team or about the 3 teams in the high school. It's about 5 teams. It's about 7th through varsity, and then we have 6th graders as our managers for the 7th grade teams and some 8th grade teams. So my vision was for all teams to be similar, for all teams to have the same hashtag, the same philosophies, the same everything pretty much. And the amount of time it takes for 80 plus athletes, 70 plus athletes to know who you are, to know that when you come in the gym that your intention is good. Same with the amount of coaches. I think it's just how much time that takes. So I think that's the biggest challenge so far.
Absolutely. Okay, you mentioned your hashtag. Tell me a little bit about that. Hashtag Edge?
Yes.
Okay, tell me.
Yes. So hashtag Edge was introduced for the first time to this program during the parent meeting. So the very first time I met the athletes, the very first time I met the parents, I said, this is what we're going to do. And I said, yes, I know it's spelled wrong. So don't think I meant to spell Edge, and I didn't spell it correctly. I meant to make it this way. And we went over it that first day. I said, these are going to be the core values. But the coolest part about it, it will stay Edge for as long as I am the head coach at Oak Mountain. It will not change ever. So I think that that's really cool. What will change is, I don't know if you can see it, but their definitions. So the first day we were in the gym, the kids within this program defined effort. And then the second day, they defined discipline. And so, yes, everybody can always define it differently, but what's important about ours is that we define it and we erase these at the end of the season. Those will be erased. And then next year's program will define them again.
Well, stepping away from volleyball a little bit, I understand that you're a special education teacher, so tell me a little bit about that part of your career and that passion in your life.
Yes. Well, I knew, I think from the age of 4 that I wanted to be a teacher. I think I struggled with what I wanted to teach, what route I wanted to go, what age group I wanted to do. That was where my confusion came in. Children with disabilities are special and unique people, and I feel like I make a difference every single day. And that was something that was really important to me when choosing a career. So yes, everybody was like, so this volleyball gig, and I'm like, yeah, but I get to be a special education teacher. That's just as important to me as anything else, because they're just amazing children. And specifically here, I work with the 12th graders, so I'm helping them with their transition to what they want to do after high school, which I'm also really passionate about. Helping them figure out what are the roads where I need to go if I need services and you're no longer here. Do I want to go to college? Do I want to go to technical school? Do I want to do all of these things? I really enjoy helping them through that and help them find different pathways for their life.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to talk to some of your players next.
Good luck. They're great.
All right, so I'm a senior at Oak Mountain. I play volleyball, primarily DS, also outside hitter, 17. That's pretty much it.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the season that y'all are in.
All right, so this year's a little bit different. We have a new coach, Coach Burgess. Y'all have talked to her. And we've been doing actually pretty well this year. I think we are 11-4 at the moment. That could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But we've been doing really well. We've had a lot of fun. Our team is really great this year. We have a really great connection, so playing is super fun.
Good. Well, tell me about playing for Coach Burgess. What do you like about her?
So what I love about Coach Burgess is that she really likes to understand what we really need to do. She's not really like a screamer, but she will, help us coach to what we need, but she doesn't get mad at us. She's very understanding of, things that teenagers go through. So she's a lot more understanding than a lot of coaches I've had. She really helps us personally. It's not even just volleyball. She cares about us in every single way. She'll ask us how we're doing, ask us how school's going. She always starts off practice with, how was y'all's day? And it's always really great to, know that she cares about us.
Yeah. Now, you guys are having to play in masks, am I correct?
Right, so we have these gaiter things. It's kind of like a scarf that we pull up, but luckily when we're on the court, we can pull them down. But when we come in together, we like to pull them up. On the benches, we have to put them up. We also stay 6 feet apart on the bench, so that's very different.
Yeah. Is there anything else about playing during COVID-19 that has been challenging or
Yes, for sure. It's been a lot different. Because that's always at the forefront of our minds. We can never just think volleyball, just play volleyball, because it always presents a challenge. The mask is probably the biggest thing. We also have had to, cut out some of our traveling tournaments. Like we normally go to New Orleans, we normally go to Mobile, which is great because we get to, play different competition that we don't get in Alabama. But we can't do that this year with COVID and the regulations that our state has put in place.
Okay, well tell me, Madison, do you have any future plans, college? Are you going to try to play at the next level?
I am not going to play in college, but I do want to continue playing for fun. I don't think I'll ever be able to, completely give it up because it's been such a big part of my life for the past, I would say 8 years. I've been playing for forever. And I really want to go to college, don't really know what I want to do exactly yet, but I have good plans for myself, and volleyball will definitely stay a part of it.
Okay, Landry, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Landry Frisch. I'm a senior here at Oak Mountain High School. I play volleyball year-round, whether it's at school or for club. Outside hitter. That's about it. I've gone to Oak Mountain since 4th grade, I believe, and I love it here. It's great.
Good. Okay, tell us a little bit about how your season's going.
I think it's going amazing. I think the chemistry on our team is really, really good this year, and we're having a really good time. Coach Burgess especially has made it so it's like we're having a good time and we're not stressed about it, but we're still working and being focused and everything.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about Coach Burgess. What do you like about her?
I love Coach Burgess. I think she's so good for this program. She's really done a great job of incorporating not only like all the high school teams together, but also middle school too. And she'll go down and we'll go watch their games sometime. And she's just really done an amazing job of making it like a whole program instead of just like individual teams.
Okay, so I'm sure it's been interesting, even though you've been playing volleyball a really long time, now playing during COVID. Tell me some of the challenges, like wearing masks or what else has changed about volleyball?
Well, masks definitely have been a big addition, and it's not as bad as some people think. I mean, really, we just have, if we're spread out, we don't usually have them on, but that's like, we're 6 feet apart, and then as soon as we come like anywhere close to being 6 feet together, or less than 6 feet together, we always have them on for like water breaks and talks and everything like that.
Yeah, so it hasn't been quite as bad as
No, not as bad as you think. The bench is a little weird for games, but I mean, we have to do what we have to do. And
so when you're on the bench, are you separated?
Yes, it's like staggered seating.
Okay, got it. All right, well, tell me about any kind of future plans. Do you have college plans? Do you plan to continue to play volleyball?
I do plan to continue playing in volleyball in college. I don't currently have anywhere that I'm going. I'm talking to a couple people, but I mean, whatever happens, happens. So I'm just happy to be playing right now.
Well, parents often worry about the day they'll hand over the keys to their car and watch their child drive away. Well, imagine seeing them fly away, and they're the only one on board the plane. Now, that's a moment that would make parents proud and scared at the same time. And as Donette Logan reports, it's a reality for the family of one Vestavia Hills Soccer star.
The summer of 2020. It's one we will never forget for several reasons, but for Riley Vicinanzo, the memory she will hold on to is the one of her making her first solo flight at just 17 years old, something most adults would never dream of doing.
I had also a lot of people doubt me because they're like, oh, you're 17, and I play competitive sports, so it was sometimes hard for me to get in, but I knew that this is something I've always really wanted to do, so I was just going to do it, and took my free time, but I didn't care because it's something I really love. That was actually one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced.
I mean, she does things that people aren't doing, and she wants to do. She's braver than me and tougher than me.
Before Riley could even drive, she was taken to the skies chasing a goal.
But my actual first solo flight, I was like, you either have to do it or you have to quit. And I was like, I'm not going to quit, so just got to rip the Band-Aid off. And I was just like, God, if you want me to die, then I'll crash the plane. But if not, then I'm going to make this a successful landing. And there's no other way. I had to get down. I couldn't quit in the middle. So I just committed to it, and then I got it done.
Her freshman year, she came in, she goes, I want to fly. I was like, okay. And kids say that, but Riley does it. She does what she says.
You may be wondering why flying. Was it seeing a celebrity in their own planes, or the thought of doing something most kids in her school weren't? No, none of those. In fact, the goal actually came after Riley spent a summer at a NASA survival camp.
We would learn some science stuff. That was the first time I was introduced to the physics of flight. And I've never forgotten those lessons, which is interesting to me. And then also, other random things, which berries not to eat, just a bunch of random survival tips. But it was militaristic styles.
Enjoyed the kind of the camaraderie, the focus, the direction of a military life and of that kind of adventure. So it started, when she was probably 12, 13. One of my favorite pictures I have of her is the end of my daughter in fatigues at age 13 on her summer camp.
It's not enough that this 17-year-old is conquering the skies, but she's also conquering the seas.
Scuba diving is just, it's different because it's really quiet. It makes, just because, you're under the water and you can't really hear anything, so it's really, really peaceful actually. And it's something you don't see every day. Lots of coral reefs and fish. And actually one time I got to pet a Goliath grouper, so that was really interesting.
She's been down below 100 feet under the water, and she likes to try a lot of different things and do them.
Her success doesn't stop there. Riley started playing soccer at just 4 years old. At the time, she was so small, her uniform had to be rolled up to fit her. For Riley, soccer was just something she did until one day, in 8th grade, she decided soccer was a place where she could fly.
The flying in the sky, flying planes, and she flies on the field literally too. She will do whatever it takes to win the ball or finish a goal.
Now a member of the Vestavia Hills High School Women's Championship team, Riley isn't just making impactful plays, but she's impacting those around her.
She's a great role model for the girls as far as how she acts off the field, as well as her commitment to showing up for practice every day and making practice competitive and herself to a high standard, which in turn encourages others that are on the team to do the same.
That's the one aspect that I enjoy the most about soccer, I think, is just the fact that it's a team-oriented sport. So it's not just you winning, it's your whole team, and everyone's excited, everyone's hyping each other up, and it's just a really supportive environment.
Riley's goal in life, to join one of the academies after college and hopefully fly.
I find satisfaction out of helping others and knowing that I'm doing something to better other people, because personally I'm a really religious person, so my outlook on life is you're here to help other people and uplift other people. So I think that's just a really good way to do it, and it also gives you a lot of opportunities. So as much as it's really hard and it takes a lot of commitment, I think it's a great way to serve other people, and it would help me with flight and other options like that.
She wants to continue flying. She's talked about aeronautical engineering, and she loves to dive, and so if the Coast Guard or the Navy was part of it, that would be useful to you.
It's no surprise to anyone who meets Riley that she has accomplished so much at such a young age. In fact, if you ask anyone to describe her, one word comes up.
Tenacious. She's a kid that, she may see an obstacle at first, feel kind of intimidated, but never, has always kind of found a way around it to get through it.
I would describe Riley as one of the most tenacious and determined women I've ever been able to coach.
A tenacious young lady that I think will see flying to new levels in the future with nothing holding her back.
You're capable of anything. I think the reason I do a lot of the stuff I do is because I have a really supportive family. So that's been really, really important to me, having two great parents to tell me whenever I'm down, you're fine, just get back up. Just having that mentality that, what are you going to do? Just quit? When life goes on, you have to go on with it. So you can do a lot more than you think.
Donette Logan, High School Sports Weekly.
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
Welcome to National Scouting Report's Recruiting Roundtable. My name's Mike Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of Scouting. Let's talk about NCAA Eligibility Center today, which it used to be called the Clearinghouse. There's a lot of different things that are needed to become eligible. If you want to be an athlete and you want to play at the collegiate level in any sport, there's some criteria that you need to meet to be part of the NCAA. The first one is you need to meet the core requirements, which is 16 core classes. You need to earn a core GPA of at least 2.3, as well as have a sliding scale with your ACT or SAT score that meets that GPA requirement. Also need to complete your amateurism certificate, and then of course you need to register with the Eligibility Center at www.eligibilitycenter.com. For me, what's the best plan? For my advice I would give to you, number one, in your freshman year, have a plan. Register initially with the Eligibility Center, make sure that you've got everything in place, talk to your counselor. Number two, your sophomore year, is make sure that you actually physically register with the Eligibility Center. Make sure you have your transcripts up to date. Number three, in your junior year, make sure you study. Study. That's the most important thing, especially those that have either, if you're going after an equivalency scholarship or you're a head count, you really need to take care of your academics. And number four would be your senior year. That would be to graduate. Make sure that you complete each one of those four requirements, follow those guidelines, register with the Eligibility Center. Remember, if you are not part of the Eligibility Center, you cannot make an official visit to a college campus and meet with those college coaches. So make sure that you do that. So be ahead of the game. Register with the Eligibility Center at www.eligibilitycenter.com. Don't wait around for a coach to find you. You be proactive in your recruiting. If you have any questions about the National Scouting Report, you can follow us on our website at www.nsr-inc.com. Or if you have any questions about eligibility or the recruiting process, feel free to reach out to myself, Mike Smith, at mike.smith@nsr-inc.com. Thank you for joining me on Roundtable, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much, Mike. Chris, give us a little preview of what we've got coming up this week on the Gridiron.
I can do that. Bye weeks for 4 teams, as we've got no region play in 7A Region 3 this week, but it's Oak Mountain, Vestavia, Spain Park, and Tuscaloosa County that all have bye weeks. But Hoover will be hosting Prattville at the Hoover Met. You've got Thompson playing host to Mountain Brook. Hewitt-Trussville's on the road visiting Huffman, and also Gadsden City goes on the road at Oxford.
Sounds great. Half of our teams have off weeks.
They do indeed. They'll need them because it'll be the back half push here coming very soon.
Got it. Okay, well, thanks so much for tuning in this week. As always, send us your story ideas. Please like and share our videos with your friends and family. And thank you to our sponsor, OS1 Sports Injury Clinic.
And we look forward to seeing you next week right here on High School Sports Weekly.